Okay, guys, ahoy! Happy Sunday. What I wanted to do, because I knew some of you were a little bit confused about what we were going to be doing for the next 3 days of school, is give you an example of an expository essay and make the connection between things that we've learned in class, for example, how to write an introduction, how to write a body paragraph, and the actual essay that you'll need to be turning into me by Thursday. Okay, so here, for example, is an expository essay about Seattle, Washington, which is a topic similar to the one that you will be writing about, Ramallah, this next week. So what I've done here is I've written the different parts of the essay and put them all together to make the essay itself. So here we have an introduction, we have two body paragraphs, and then a conclusion. Okay, and then after this, what I've done is I've taken how I planned the essay and made it really easy to understand, and in attempts to show you the connection between things like hit, here being hook, information, and thesis, and also things like pie, point, information, and details, so that when you're planning for the essay, you won't be so confused about how these things all fit together. Okay. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to read this whole essay together, and then we're going to focus on the different parts and how I use things like hit and pie to plan for them, okay? So let's go back up here, and I'll begin by reading the essay. So let's begin. Have you ever heard of the city of Seattle, Washington? It's a city in the Pacific Northwest region of the United States of America. It was founded in the early 1800s and is located in a beautiful place. Seattle's population is large and is made up of many different cultures. In this paper, I will inform you about Seattle's natural beauty as well as activities you can do in and around the city. Okay, so this was my introductory paragraph, or my introduction to the essay. And what we're going to do now is I'm going to show you how I planned it. So let's go down here to the introduction part of my planning process. Here I have my hook, information, and thesis. My hook in this paragraph is the first sentence, and it draws the reader in with a question. Have you ever heard of the city of Seattle, Washington? So remember, a hook can be a small story, meaning 1 to 2 sentences. It can be a question. It can be a puzzle. In my opinion, the easiest way to start off your paragraph is to use a question. Then after that, you have your information, meaning your who, where, what, and when. So if you hadn't noticed already, what I did here is I gave you all the necessary information, the information you need to know in order to understand the rest of my essay. So here I say Seattle, or it, is a city in the Pacific Northwest region in the United States of America, so they know where it is. It was founded in the early 1800s. It sort of gives them an idea of when this city was made or created. And then Seattle's population is large and is made up of many different cultures and is located in a beautiful place. All right, so there we have the who and also a little bit more of the where. And the what, obviously, is Seattle, Washington. And then next, or maybe the most complicated thing here, or the thing that you guys seem to have the most trouble with, is the thesis or the focus. So the thesis or the focus is not necessarily the most difficult, in my opinion, because all it is telling us what you're going to focus on in the essay. So what I say here is, in this essay, I will tell you about Seattle's natural beauty, as well as activities you can do, sorry, that says you, that you can do in and around the city. So here I give you my two main ideas, or the two main ideas of the body paragraphs that I'm going to follow this introduction with. So for example, my first body paragraph is Seattle's natural beauty, and my second body paragraph is going to be talking about activities you can do in and around the city. Okay, so we're going to move on now from my introduction, which I've just explained to you, and my body paragraphs. If there are any questions about these at any point throughout the essay, make sure to just send me an email. All right, so now we're going to move on to the body paragraphs. Surrounded on two sides by mountain ranges and large bodies of water, Seattle is known for its natural beauty. To the east, there are Lake Washington and the Cascade Mountain Range, one of the longest ranges in North America. To the west, there are the Puget Sound, a large saltwater inlet of the Pacific Ocean, and the smaller but still impressive Olympic Mountain Range. On a sunny day in Seattle, you wonder why anyone lives anywhere else in the world. This special beauty is one of the reasons that Seattle is a great place to live. Not only is Seattle beautiful, but there are many activities to do in and outside of the city. So I've moved on to my second body paragraph now. In the mountains, you can go skiing and sledding in the winter. In the summer, you can go hiking and rock climbing. Also, you can enjoy a pleasant swim in Lake Washington or take a dip in the chilly waters of the Puget Sound to cool off. In the city itself, there are many coffee shops and museums to visit, as well as a number of tourist attractions like the Pike Place Market. In any season, it is hard to be bored when living in or visiting Seattle. Okay, so you might ask yourself, how did I plan these two paragraphs and how are these related to pie? So let's go down here and look. And here, if you haven't noticed already, my main ideas are very clear, and I start out with a point, have my information and details that follow, and then have an ending sentence. So remember, you start with a point, which is just one sentence, and here in the first body paragraph, my point is, surrounded on two sides by mountain ranges and large bodies of water, Seattle is known for its natural beauty. So they know, the person who's reading this, the main idea of this paragraph is the natural beauty. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to give information. So I say to the east, there are, this lake and then this mountain range. And then to the west, there's Puget Sound and then the Olympic Mountains. And then I end with a little sentence, on a sunny day in Seattle. You wonder why anyone else lives there and why anyone else lives anywhere else in the world, or anyone lives anywhere else in the world. These are all details, right? And there's about 3 of them here, details that support the point, which is natural beauty. And then I have a sentence that ends or concludes the paragraph saying, this special beauty is one of the reasons that Seattle is a great place to live. Okay, so moving on to the next paragraph, again, I do the same thing. I have a point, and then I have a piece of some information, or like I said, details, and then an ending. So my main idea here is activities you can do in and around the city. You can do in and around the city. And then my point here is just one sentence saying not only is Seattle beautiful, but there are many activities to do in and outside of the city. So this sentence is just one sentence, and it also connects to what came before it, which is Seattle's natural beauty. So it's saying not only is Seattle beautiful, but there are also many things to do. So it provides some continuity into the essay. And then here you have, in the mountains, you can go skiing and sledding in the winter. In the summer, you can go hiking and rock climbing. So I'm describing or giving details about the different activities that you can do. So one way you can plan this is you can just say, okay, this is activity number 1. Here we have detail number 2. Detail number 2. And then detail number 3. We talk about winter, then we talk about summer, then we talk about things you can actually do inside the city. And then in our ending here, we have just a sentence that sums it all up and that makes the reader think about the city itself. So it says, in any season, it's hard to be bored when living or visiting Seattle. So what I want to point out here, just like in the last paragraph, is you have a point sentence, information, at least 3 details in your paragraph, and then an ending. Okay? And so these body paragraphs should be no more than 5 to 6 sentences. Another thing that I really want to make clear is that you plan these different sentences in point, information, and ending, but you also, at the end of your planning process, have to put them together into one paragraph. You guys had some trouble putting your sentences together into one paragraph. Instead, you had pages of just sentences. But make sure to put them together once you've planned them out so that the paragraph is cohesive and it makes sense. Okay, so this last part, in conclusion, Seattle is a unique, entertaining, and beautiful place to live and visit. On a visit to the USA, definitely plan on making a stop. So not all of us have gone over conclusions, but for the concluding paragraph, it's very simple. You just have to remember to sum up what you've talked about, meaning your main ideas, in one or 2 sentences. So 1 or 2 sentences. Okay? And then you want to end with something exciting that makes the reader feel good about what they've just read or makes them think about what they've just read. It's hard to really make someone think about Seattle, so I decided to go with something exciting. So I said, on a visit to the USA, definitely plan on making a stop. So in a way, I'm trying to persuade the person who's reading to come to this city. Though the main purpose, obviously, of this expository essay is to inform us about the city. Okay, so guys, I hope that whole video helps you to understand better the process of first planning your essay and then writing it, okay? Hopefully it makes the connection between things like hit and the actual paragraphs that you'll be writing. So this paragraph here was planned with hit. I planned out each sentence and then I put it together. And then the body paragraphs as well, same deal. And the conclusion, there's no acronym like HIT or PI, but you can still just think to yourself, I need to sum this up, main ideas in 1 or 2 sentences, and that's a way of remembering how to do that. All right, so I want to end by saying you guys are going to do great. I know you guys can do great work. And one thing that I didn't do in this essay is include vocabulary. So you have to remember, in the essay that we're writing this next week, you need 10 or more vocab words, and those come from your must-know vocab words. And then also, if you want extra credit points, you can have 5 or up to 5 advanced words. Okay? So guys, I'm going to be evaluating you on your understanding of the different things that we've learned about expository writing, and then also on how you use your vocabulary words. And of course on your complete sentences and making sure you're avoiding run-on sentences, etc. So like I said, you guys are going to do great. If you have any questions, do not hesitate to email me tomorrow or any day throughout the week. We're going to be working on this from Monday pretty much until Thursday, for some of you just until Wednesday. All right, well, once again, there's everything we've looked at, and have a great Sunday night.